And then we can all keep chatting together, perhaps in perpetuity. And when I say in perpetuity, I mean perpetuity. I mean forever. Because according to Ray Kurzweil, we are on the brink of immortality. There's an old clip resurfacing from a documentary about Ray Kurzweil. Ray Kurzweil is a computer scientist, and he's much respected in Silicon Valley and has been for decades now. And Ray Kurzweil has predicted that within about 8 or so years, mankind will achieve, in this world, eternal life.
Kurzweil says revolutions in genetics, nanotechnology, and robotics will usher in the beginning of the singularity. Kurzweil feels with sufficient genetic technology, it should be possible to maintain the body indefinitely, reversing aging while curing cancer, heart disease, and other illnesses. Kurzweil envisions nanobots which allow people to eat whatever they want while remaining thin and fit, provide copious energy,
nice.
Fight off infections or cancer, replace organs, and augment their brains. Eventually, people's bodies will contain so much augmentation they'll be able to alter their physical manifestation at will. Kurzweil writes that by 2010, a supercomputer will have the computational capacity to emulate human intelligence, and by around 2020, this same capacity will be available for $1,000. After that milestone, he expects human brain scanning to contribute to an effective model of human intelligence by the mid-2020. These two elements will culminate in computers that can pass the Turing test by 2029. By the early 2030, the amount of non-biological computation will exceed the capacity of all living biological human intelligence.
So this is not a new documentary. This is obviously not a new prediction. Ray Kurzweil has made all sorts of predictions over the years, and you might say this is totally far-fetched. And then you just start hearing some of his predictions. Well, he did kind of predict when AI would start to really develop, and then he kind of predicted almost perfectly when AI would really start to take off. And he's made a lot of other predictions too. According to Ray Kurzweil and his supporters, out of the 147 discrete predictions he has made about technology and humanity in the future, 86% of them have come true. So are we going to live forever here on Earth? I don't believe it. I don't quite believe it. 86% right means that you were wrong 14% of the time. I'm no mathematician, but that's, I think, how the numbers work out. And here's why I think that. Here are some of the other predictions Ray Kurzweil has made. He accurately predicted that consumers will be able to design their own clothes with precise measurements and style requirements from home computers by 1999. And that happened. The world's best chess player would lose to a computer by 2000. That happened. Deep Blue totally destroyed Kasparov with facts and logic. That people would primarily use portable computers in a wide range of sizes and shapes by 2009. 2009 maps almost exactly with the development of the iPhone. Here we go. I got this one over here. We have all sorts of supercomputers. Yep. Little miniature computers, rather. And the majority of the world would have high bandwidth wireless internet access at all times by 2010. Seems to have basically come true. All of those predictions are rather limited in scope, though. Those are the kinds of predictions that futurists and technology-minded people have accurately made for centuries now. The immortality prediction is something that power-mad fallen humans have predicted and sought after since the dawn of time. Since the earliest mythical conceptions of humanity, we have sought after that. And I don't see it happening. Just as Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden might have reached for that tree of the knowledge, well, they did reach for the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, but they might have reached for the tree of life and they were booted out of the garden, just as the ancient Babylonians were building up that Tower of Babel. They were just about to reach heaven and then they were all scattered. I just don't think we get there. I think that human beings, even if we're blundering into that sort of thing, we will be protected for our own good by our own incompetence. And I just don't buy it. I think these are people who could have eternal life if they wanted it. They just got to say the word, and they're not going to do it through their own efforts and their own computers. Elon Musk has just signed a statement with Wozniak from Apple, with a lot of top computer scientists and AI developers, urging a 6-month moratorium on the development of AI. I signed up yesterday for one of the fancy AI programs where you have to pay like $10 a month to be able to try it out. And I did it because I heard that these fancier AI programs were much, much, much more impressive than the freebies that everybody gets to try out. And so I thought, all right, I want to see how good this stuff really is. It's unbelievable. The artwork that it can produce, the compositions that these programs can produce, it is unbelievable. A lot of people thought that AI might be useful for calculations, for some aspects of business, but the one thing they could never do is create art or poetry. That's something that only humans can do. And what do we find out? The thing that AI is best at, perhaps, is art and poetry. So we just don't really know what this thing is and how far it's going to go and how quickly it's going to go that far. So what Elon and the other people have suggested is, quote, such decisions about the development of AI must not be delegated to unelected tech leaders. Powerful AI systems should be developed only once we're confident that their effects will be positive and their risks will be manageable. This confidence must be well justified. This is, of course, true. And you might hear some people insist, either on the left or on the right, insist that, no, we can't have the government limit creativity. That's probably what you're going to hear from the left. Or you might hear from the right, you can't have the government stop the progress of the free market or whatever. But AI is potentially very, very dangerous. AI will almost certainly transform our society in ways that we haven't seen, certainly since the development of the internet, maybe since the development of industrialization, maybe since the development of who knows. And so the point that Elon is making, and Wozniak and the rest of the ComSci guys, is not even a point about AI. It's a point about politics. Whatever happens with AI, a development at this scale is a political matter. In recent decades, our conception of politics has become really, really shallow and narrow. On the left, the leftists have said, keep your politics out of my bedroom. Keep your politics out of my drug bin. Keep your politics out of whatever I want to do socially. And on the right, the conservatives have said, keep your politics out of my business. Keep your politics out of my bank account. Keep your politics out of my personal life. But politics is just what we do together. Politics just means public. And the conception of politics at the founding of our country was a much more robust conception. The whole idea of self-government is that we're going to be really involved in politics, and we're going to come to conclusions about the world and how we want to live, and then we're going to impose them on the society through our vote and through our elected representatives. Could you imagine if the nuclear bomb were being developed just after it was developed, and then the nuclear bomb were strictly a private matter? So keep your politics out of my business, man. We're building a bomb. No, of course not. It's a highly political matter, and people have the right to put some limitations on it. The fact that we haven't seen nuclear weapons used in war since World War II is very impressive, and it attests to the ability of political action to keep a handle on things in society. I think Elon is totally right. I'm still miffed that I'm not on Twitter right now, so Elon, please put me back on Twitter. And don't boot me off of the social network for quoting the Bible. But he's absolutely right about AI. We've got a lot more coming up in the member block. We've got a lot on AI. Producer Jacob has taken over the show today. We'll see how he does. Head on over to the Knowles Stradamus Membrum Segmentum, dailywire.com/Knowles. Promo code Knowles at checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans.